You had this like momentous like awakening, initiation into it. Now, were you already dabbling in kind of your spiritual growth? What were some of those tools? Did you even know about the law of attraction when you kind of made your way into Hollywood?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, I think it was kind of a few years into my career where I started listening to Abraham Hicks and really I was like, oh, the law of attraction. Oh, okay. Like this is actually a real practice. Like, let me understand. I know that I have the ability to manifest literally anything. I've seen it happen many times. I'll think about somebody and they text me, or I'll think of a song and it comes on the radio. It's just to realize how directly connected we all are to God, to source, to spirit, to the universe at any given moment. And then realizing there's an actual methodology that I get to strengthen and I get to really understand.
Like a muscle.
Because I wanted to teach it to other people. I wanted to teach other people how to manifest this. I mean, how do you explain manifesting princesses from Saudi Arabia? So, and being able to kind of reverse engineer and go, oh, because of that thought process and because of who I was being vibrationally in that moment, now I can teach other people how they can create that for their lives.
It's huge.
And so I started studying Abraham Hicks and really started to understand the principles of like the distinctions of the law of attraction. And I really, really wanted to impact many people versus like the one-on-one was great, but it started to feel like a job to me. I was like, I'm just collecting a paycheck now. I'm not feeling the fulfillment in it. And I saw myself speaking on stage and working with huge groups of people and impacting
so you were already
them.
visualizing
I was visualizing it, and I knew that there was something bigger for me. And that's when I started studying human behavior and emotional intelligence and leadership and how to facilitate that. And I have been mentored by incredible human beings who've just really laid the foundation for who I get to be, about basically what my husband and I are doing now. So.
Right. And shout out to all the mentors that literally came into your life. Now, it's so interesting because I just want to go back and unpack a little bit of what you just shared. You had the contrast though. Also, the living in a home in LA where you had the bars, and then you have this like lavish area in like New York, and the complete opposite. And also you going through some of the darkest, deepest nights of like nobody knew if you were going to live, to then on the complete opposite side, which was starting and jumpstarting your career off into Hollywood. If it's like that through line of contrast where now then you can see, okay, I can teach you to live a really big life because I've lived both. And manifestation, it sounds like, was the through line.
100%. And I'm such a huge fan of contrast because it's our biggest teacher. I mean,
we may hate it.
There's nothing that our ego hates more than contrast. Like our ego just wants to be smooth, calm blue ocean, smooth sailing, excitement, joy, passion, all of that.
Happy all the time.
But what comes up must come down. What goes up must come down. And so it's like, we got to know that life is a roller coaster. I mean, you will, especially if you're a dynamic person, especially if you're a leader, especially if you have a huge level of responsibility. I mean, the breakdowns are bigger. The heartache is more significant. When you're invested in something, significantly invest in something that matters, the loss that could be there is so much greater than somebody who chooses a beige, boring, basic life. And I mean, you can't, so people think that balance is like this. Balance is like, this is balance. I believe it's the up and the down. It's unavoidable. I mean,
and I feel like for those of you listening or watching right now that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going through the deepest heartbreak. I'm going through the biggest life transition. I'm going through the biggest phase of being stuck. I don't know what to do. I mean, this is that episode. This is kind of embrace the contrast that you're in. Embrace the fact that, maybe in the next couple months, the next 6 months, the next year, you will totally appreciate the moment that you're in right now. I think we forget that so much. And a lot of what you're sharing, it's like, even in my deepest, darkest days after I left my first marriage, it was like, am I going to ever find love again? And so when you're even just sharing, like going through some of the biggest heartbreaks, you're like, actually, but balance isn't just like the mediocre path.
No.
Balance for people who want to live really big lives, it's going to go up and down and have its cadence and flow. See you next time at the Brave Table.